going on, Cigars for Fitness Faithful? It is Friday, and well, smoking the Ogre. This is an insanely enormous cigar. Um, it's a full-bodied, producing a pretty decent amount of smoke. Super loose draw, which is to be expected. I can see the huge sort of like canals in between the rolled up sort of filler. So it's producing a pretty decent amount of smoke. Let's see. So it's a full-bodied cigar, but I got to tell you, it doesn't really have that sort of bite that I expected it to, which is a little bit of I guess, a shock. That may change as it heats up. I'm curious to see how well it stays lit. This one's kind of unique because it has a Habano and a Candela wrapper. I've never smoked a Candela wrapper before, so that first and foremost is a new sensation for me. This is very flavorful, as to be expected. I get a little more. I will say, from a personal perspective, don't expect to see me smoking another huge ring gauge cigar like this. It's just not, feel wise, it's like, it's just not for me. I would say about a 60 is the biggest ring gauge that I would go, because it's not comfortable to smoke. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say that number one, I'm making sure to smoke this on a very full stomach. I have absolutely no intention of getting sick. My wife has decided to get her Pilates teacher training certification, so she is doing that, which means that I have my kids as soon as they get home from school. So I cannot afford to be sick. With that being said, at no point in time did I ever intend to smoke this entire cigar. First off, it looks like it's going to take about 14 years. And aside from that, as soon as I start to feel funky, this guy's going out. So that's that basically. I will say, if you are into full-bodied cigars, this one is very unique. I will tell you, the combination of the Habano and the Candela does give it a very unique flavor profile. I don't know, I taste like sweet raisin. I taste some, I don't know if it's like cinnamon. No, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of flavor in there. So I would say, I mean, this one, which is the 6x80, costs like $10. So I would say, by all means, do try it. The one thing I don't like, and I don't know if it's just this particular cigar, or if it's just the case when you roll like a really large ring gauge cigar, there are a lot of cracks in the wrapper, more so in the Candela than on the Habano. But it looks to me like the Habano is wrapped all around, and then the Candela's on top. I don't know, I can't tell, but that's the only sort of structural drawback. But I would imagine it has to be a function of the fact that it's such a large ring. Alright, so the first little hiccup, one of my kids is on his way home early, so it does look like I'm going to get through a lot of this right now. What I will most likely do is try to save it for later. I really don't want to waste this whole thing, but I will say I definitely do enjoy the flavor on this one. So outside of that, home a little early today. As you can see, the sun is up. Basically, I got injured pretty bad yesterday, not training, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but basically I'm kind of sidelined for a while, and talk a little bit more about it maybe in another video, or maybe later in this video. We'll see how things shake out today, but it's looking like I'm gonna have to really change my approach towards things, and I'll kind of get in a little more detail that maybe later. So this is about where I'm at. My son actually fell asleep in the car, the person was bringing him here, so I got a few extra minutes, and I'm kind of good to stop like around here, because I definitely feel that sort of whooshy kind of feeling. Not bad at all. I mean, really nothing like what I thought it was going to be. But again, I don't want to take it too far, because once start to get nauseous, etc., like I got to deal with the 2 and a 4-year-old. So one thing I will say, if you notice, like, the wrapper is really cracking, and that's not necessarily something I'm particularly a fan of. In this particular case, it's clear that it's not too dry. It's just maybe that there wasn't enough glue used, or I don't really know what the scenario is, but it's not holding together well. Alright guys, I'm gonna put this down for the time being, go get my son. I think this is going to be the end of this particular video. If I smoke a little more later, which I probably will, because there's still a lot of cigar left and I absolutely do not want to waste this, videotape a little bit about that. But this is going to be the end of this video. I am going to say, as always, thank you guys for the support. Please continue to support the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. And now I'm going to stare awkwardly at the camera for a few seconds.